Okay, next assignment. Now it's in a different formation, the equation. 4x plus 8y equals 16. This time we don't have the y all by itself. I mean, the x and the y are on the same side of the equation. When that happens, it's not in slope-intercept form. It's what's called in standard form. So we need a different way to graph it if it's in standard form, okay? And the best way, the most efficient way I know, is we're going to make an XY table. And we're going to have 2 points, okay? I'm going to kind of circle 2 points. And with each point, to find each point, we're going to put 0 in for x at that point. We're going to put 0 in for y at the other point. And what I'm going to do is write that equation out twice. 4x plus 8y equals 16. And then write it out again. Now, if x is 0, I'm going to actually parenthesize that. The operation between 4 and 0 would be times. Well, that's 4 times 0 is 0, so I can eliminate the 4x, okay? That allows me to eliminate. So I have 8 times y is 16, so the opposite of times is to divide. So if x is 0, y would be 2, because 16 divided by 8 is 2. That is known as your y-intercept. We're familiar with y-intercept, okay? And I'm going to put y-int. So on the x-axis, you're at 0, and you go up 2. Easy enough, 0, 2. Now the other coordinate point, here the y is 0, so I'm going to parenthesize the y, but if I put a 0 in there, empty, don't waste time emptying it, because if you put a 0 in there, what would 8 times 0 be? It'd be 0. So now you can get rid of the 8y. So now you have 4 times x equals 16, and you can solve for x by dividing by 4, because the opposite of times is divide. So 16 divided by 4 is 4. Now this is known as your x-intercept. Okay, so you go to 4 on the x, and you stay on the middle of the y. So that's 4, 0. Okay, and that's all you need. These are 2 points. You can take your ruler and graph that. So with that equation, I was pretty easily able to establish 2 points. So that means I pretty much have all the points. 4x plus 8y equals 16. Okay. Cross that lines, all the points that make 4 times x plus 8 times y is 16. Coordination is a combination of x and y values. Okay, my next problem, 3x minus 4y equals negative 9. Once again, the y and the x are on the same side. So that's in standard form, not slope-intercept form. All right, so what happens here is I want to make a table with 2 points. We're going to put x 0 and we're going to put y 0. Now I got to write that equation out twice. If I have subtraction, I am going to make that plus negative, and it's almost always with the y term. Then write it out again. So again, if I know x is 0, 3 times 0 is 0. That can be eliminated. So I have negative 4 times y equals negative 9. So I divide by negative 4. Negative 9 divided by negative 4 is 2.25. So that's okay. You can get a decimal, and that's your y-intercept. Okay, so 0, stay in the middle, then you go up 1, 2, then about 1/4 of the way. And that's where 0, 2.25 is at. Now, if y is 0, I don't need to empty the y, because I know if I put a 0 in there, negative 4 times 0 is 0. So I have 3 times x equals negative 9, so I divide by 3, and that's negative 3. And that's your x-intercept. So you get a negative 3 on the x, 1, 2, 3, and then stay right in the middle. That's negative 3 and 0. All this assignment is are in standard form. Okay, so that equation can now be written 3x minus 4y equals -9. Okay, next up. All right. Now again, we got the x and the y on the same side. So again, that equation is in standard form. And you always set each variable equal to 0 at different points. So I write that out twice. 4x, I don't like minus, I'm going to make it plus negative. Then I want a 1 in front of the y, so I know that that's multiplied by -1 equals 8. And then same thing down here. So I know x is 0, which would mean that will just go out of the equation. And then I'm going to divide by -1. And 8 divided by -1 is -8. So that's your y-intercept, -8. So I stick x, y, x being 0's in the middle, then I go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, and then y being 0, so that we can get rid of that product, I should say, because it's just 0. And 4 times x, so I divide by 4, and 8 divided by 4 is 2. Okay, and that's your x-intercept. Standard form is easy to graph if you know how to find the x and y intercepts. So 2, 0. Okay, make your line right here. And we have 4x minus y equals 8. Okay, -5x plus 2y equals -20. You should be getting the hang of this now. Again, you got x and y on the same side of the equation, so it can't be slope-intercept. That's when we have y by itself with x over here with some operations. Totally different here. So standard form. Okay, and with standard form, we go 0, 0, 2 different points. I just put 0 in for each letter. So I have 5x plus 2y equals -20. Now some of you are like, well, why do you put the 0 in? Why can't you put a 1 in? Because if I parenthesize the x and put a 1 there, then 5 times 1 is not 0, and I'd have to solve an equation that I just made a little more difficult than it had to be. So 5 times 0 is 0. And 2 times y, so we divide by 2. -20 divided by 2 is -10. So the y-intercept's -10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, I didn't make it, so go by 2's. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Now just because we went by 2 on the y, that doesn't mean we have to do the same thing on the x. Remember that. So if y is 0, okay, 2 times 0 is 0. And 5 times x is -20, so we divide by 5, and that's -4. Okay? So I'm going to go left 4, and y 0 means stay in the middle. Okay, all right, so you make your line. Arrows on both ends. That's my equation. -5x plus 2y equals -20. All right, next problem. 5x minus 10y equals 100. Again, x and y on the same side means it's in standard form. Okay, so I will be creating my xy table. 0, 0, finding 2 points on it. So I want to write that out twice. 5x plus -10y equals 100. And just do it again somewhere so you got some room. Okay, so if x is 0, 5 times 0 is 0. Okay, see how easy that is? I can eliminate the entire product and not have to deal with it. So then I divide by -10. And 100 divided by -10 is -10. So that's your y-intercept. Okay, so x, y, 0 means in the middle. We'd have to go by 2's again because we know we can't go past 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Okay, and then if the y is 0, negative 10 times 0 is 0. And 5 times x equals 100, so I divide by 5, and that's 20. Okay, that's your x-intercept. So on the x-axis, I go to 20, so 2, 4, 6, I obviously know I can't go by 1s. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. Okay, that didn't work. So let's go by 5s. 5, 10, 15, 20. So that's 20 and 0 as a coordinate. Take a ruler or straight edge, graph the line. And we have 5x minus 10y equals 100. Okay, next one. Same thing, standard form. All right, so this time I'm going to always graph lines in standard, when the equation's in standard form. Okay, so if x is 0, product of 2 and 0 is 0. So I have 3 times y equals negative 12, so I divide by 3. And that's negative 4, so the y-intercept is 0, negative 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now if the y is 0, 3 times 0 is 0. So I have 2 times x equals negative 12. Then I divide by 2. That's negative 6. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And got your line. If you're getting bored, that's right, so am I. But you got to do it. You have to do things. That's one of my bad things as a teacher. Sometimes I go over things a little bit too much. I'm just a big believer that practice makes perfection. Okay, again, you got the x and y on the same side, standard form. So 0, 0. So negative 3x, I don't like the minus, I go plus negative 5y equals 12, and again. Okay, so x being 0, you can just get rid of that. So you have negative 5 times y equals 12, so we need to divide by negative 5, and that's negative 2.4. Okay, now I know that decimal is kind of annoying, but you just, x is in the, so x being 0, 0 is here on the x. Then I go down 1, 2, and then halfway. Less than halfway, I guess, a little bit. It's hard to go a little less, though. You don't have enough room. Okay, so if y is 0, 0 and negative 5, that product's out. Then divide by negative 3. Divide by negative 3, and that's negative 4. Okay, so x, the x-intercept, you go to negative 4 on x, and then stay in the middle. I should label these 0, negative 2.4, and this is negative 4, 0. Okay, and you got negative 3x minus 5y equals 12. All right, and then the last one, I'll tell you what, skip it. I've done this enough, probably about 6 examples too many. You got 4 to do on your own.